Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Lüning, Horst Lüning, and I'm the master taster of Whisky.com. And today we commence with our series of Aberlour single malt whiskies, and we reach slowly but definitely the end of the bottles, and the second last is the Aberlour 15-year-old Select Cask Reserve 43% ABV. This bottle has a predecessor. It was the Marie d'Ecosse bottling, also 15 years old. And Marie d'Ecosse was Maria Stuart. And she was the late queen, or the last queen of Scotland. And I think she was beheaded by the English queen in 17-something. And after that, Scotland came to the United Kingdom. This whiskey is quite old. It's 15 years old and it's affordable. And this is, typical for the Aberlour whiskies, the affordability. And they are maturing their whiskies in ex-bourbon and ex-sherry casks. And there are two kinds of whiskies at Aberlour. One is a cuvee, like this cuvee Marie d'Ecosse, and the Select Cask Reserve is also a cuvee. That means that you take finally or ready matured whiskey and then you mix them in a vat until you reach the taste you want to have. The second possibility to mature whiskies is you firstly mature them in one type of cask, like an ex-bourbon cask, and then after a definite time, say 14 years, you refill the whiskey in ex-sherry casks for another year. This means a finishing period, and then you end up with a 15-year-old single malt whiskey. It comes from different casks after each other, but still is called a single malt because it's from a single distillery. And this is called a finished whiskey. The cuvee whiskey means you take different casks, all 15 years old, intermix them for a final cuvee. This is also called a single cask because all the casks come from the same distillery. The character of the whiskies will be different. So there are two Aberlour whiskies I do not have here, the 12-year-old and the 16-year-old, and they are called double casks. So they are finished. This one is a cuvee, the Select Cask Reserve, and I think 2012 this bottle arrived, and before there has been this Marie d'Ecosse bottling. I had several Aberlour whiskies before. I put the links here, starting from the 10-year-old over the 12-year-old and the Abunak, the cask strength whiskey without an age statement. And this one is the first of the older ones. And on this bottle it is written, the natural process of maturation transforms this Aberlour into a rich and multi-layered whiskey. Every cask matures individually, slowly developing the rounded character of the whiskey through interaction with the wood and the environment. The craftsmen at Aberlour Distillery must rely on their senses and knowledge to discern which casks are ready to be selected for bottling. Every cask needs to be carefully checked, evaluating the color, nose and maturity of the precious whiskey. And then they are intermixed. Because intermixture sounds negative, they do not add it here on the label. Marketing, as always. The top of the bottle does not have this wax seal, but a typical plastic metal foil cap. Here we go. There has never been a bottle I wasn't able to open here in front of the camera. So I tasted the Marie d'Ecosse several years ago, but I'm not able to remember those tastes very well. No, I'm not the one who has a photographic aroma memory. No, I lose this knowledge 1 year, 2 years, then it's definitely gone. I remember some figures in my mind, some expressions in my mind, but they intermix with the different Aberlour fillings. So here it says, color golden amber. Yes, so there is a little bit more of ex-bourbon casks in this whiskey than in the 12-year-old non-chill filtered or in the Aberlour Abunak. Nose rich malt with aromas of toffee and honey. Palate mouth coating and rounded with vanilla notes. Finish long and intense with a hint of coconut and warming spice. Yes. Definitely malt. More malt than in other Aberlour whiskies. I had just a few minutes before, and a honey note is coming up, and caramel from the casks. Yes. I remember the Marie d'Ecosse as a sweet whiskey, and this one is sweet, definitely. Mm-hmm. Hui. 15 years brings a lot of spiciness of the oak, a wonderful spiciness. This is the difference if you mature a whiskey firstly in American oak, then transferred to European oak, and there the finishing period is just a year. You won't add spiciness, you won't add the oakiness, you won't find any bitterness in your whiskey. But if you intermix old casks of both types, then you will get a few more spiciness notes into your whiskey. There will be some bitterness. In the aftertaste, there is a spiciness, there's an upcoming chocolate and a darker chocolate. Yes. And it's very complex. It's complex, and there's harmony in this whiskey. There's no aroma very dominant. They all fight or compete for the dominance, but no aroma succeeds in. This is definitely an older whiskey. I love it. It's a really wonderful, well-rounded, complex, structured, aromatic single malt whiskey. And so far in my line of Aberlours, it's, from my personal view, the best because it's so complex. There were single malt whiskies in this range which tasted more sherry, more ABV, cask strength, but none of those were that complex as this one. Thank you very much for watching Whisky.com. Stay tuned, there's more to come. Feel free to share this with your friends and discuss this whiskey with me on our forum on Whisky.com.